right, we have begun recording because it's 9 o'clock.
All
right, welcome everyone to 1 Million Cups, the Metro Detroit chapter. We are a Kauffman Foundation-based community, and all around the country right now, there are people having coffee together and getting ready to hear presentations by new entrepreneurs, people that are entrepreneurs in the last, maybe the last 3 years. Sometimes we go as far as 5 years. And what we offer here at 1 Million Cups is the opportunity to present the problem that you are resolving, the reason that you started your business, and sharing that information with us from the platform of not asking for an investment or asking to make a sale, but letting us know what it is that you're doing and how our community might be able to help you with the next steps of where you are in your business. So we are sponsored by the Office Coffee Shop, and four of us are in the Office Coffee Shop right now, including our presenter, Cynthia Dane. I'm at the Office Coffee Shop, and so is Justin and Mike Bacon. And we're doing what we call hybrid events. So we're meeting in person. We meet once a month with our chapter on Wednesday at 9 o'clock. And you can follow us on YouTube, where we put up recorded presentations from our Wednesday presentations, or on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Meetup is where we post our events. So you can come and join us. So in a minute, Doug, who is our fearless leader of our community here, he will put up a poll for whether or not you're a new entrepreneur.
I'm actually not going to put up a poll because I know enough. So I don't need to do the poll.
Okay. Typically, we do a poll and we ask, if you're new to coming to the meeting.
I can show you a poll.
An entrepreneur.
Here's a poll. If you're really excited to see a poll, here's a poll.
Okay, we would have all of us answering no, except for Munir, but thank you, Munir, for joining us today.
Exactly.
And then do we know if Munir is an entrepreneur?
We do, because he said so.
Oh, okay.
So I think 100%. Here we go. Yep, thank you. Those are polls.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So all of us are here in the room today for our presenter, Cynthia from Recipes for a Reason. Cynthia has been part of our audience for a while now, since the pandemic, actually. She met with us in person when we were at the Loving Touch in Ferndale, and she's been coming to our meetings off and on for the last couple of years. And we're excited to have her present with us today and to see how we can offer to help in any way with her presentation, or in next steps or resources for her business. So Cynthia, are you ready to present?
Okay, I'm unmuted. PowerPoint. Yeah. Okay, I didn't share my screen. Hold on.
Right. And you are allowed to do that.
Okay, so share screen. Share.
It's working.
Okay. Okay, my name is Cynthia Dane, and my company is Recipes for a Reason. The 4 reasons being nutrition, taste, convenience, and health. My mission is to create convenient what I call cancer combative cuisine. My husband had pancreatic cancer and passed away about 5 years ago. And I am a crazy healthy eater. So of course I wanted to fix healthy food for him. There was nothing on the market that was nutritious enough or clean enough to meet my standards. So I just decided to develop my own line. In addition, I wanted to do something concrete to be able to help fight cancer. And one of the easiest ways you can do that, and one over which you have complete control, is over what you eat. So I produce a cup of soup. It's vegan, organic, dairy-free, soy-free, gluten-free, and nut-free, because I produce in a nut-free facility. And I use ingredients that are purported to be high in antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. It's targeted or developed for people who are sick and can't eat a lot, so they need as much nutrition as they can get. But it's so clean and natural, whole food ingredients that's good for anyone who wants a healthy lifestyle. It's good if you're pregnant because it's clean. It's good if you don't know what to get your 85-year-old grandparent for Christmas or birthday. It makes a great gift. And these are my current for flavors in production. I have an asparagus, a maitake mushroom, a cucumber, mango, avocado, and a vegetable sipping broth. If you look at my ingredients, most of my label is taken up with my nutritional information in my ingredient list. These are the next 4 flavors. I'm about to produce the roasted Brussels sprouts with pears and pepitas will probably be out hopefully within the next month. And then I'll do cauliflower sweet potato and the other 2 in the fall. Currently, you can buy the products on my website or at Fresh Collective Market in Berkeley, Market Square in West Bloomfield, and Health Mart in downtown Milford. What makes my product better? When I came up with the soups, I started from the point of nutrition. So what makes me different is I don't say what makes a good tasting soup. I say what's good nutrition, and then I give it the list of ingredients to my chef and I say, can you make this taste good? So if you Google anytime cancer fighting foods, the lists are pretty consistent. So it's not like milk is good for you today and it's not tomorrow, and eggs only eat the whites or eat the whole egg. The lists for fighting cancers or other illnesses are pretty consistent. It's your cruciferous vegetables, it's your garlic, it's your onion, it's your berries, those kinds of things. So I start with that. And then my chef is incredible. She develops these gourmet flavor profiles and she makes it taste really good. Because if it doesn't taste good, it doesn't matter how nutritious it is, no one's going to eat it. So I use only whole food, natural ingredients. I make my own stock with 13 fruits, vegetables, and herbs and spices. So you've got added nutrition there because most stocks are 3 to 5 ingredients. I never put any kind of sugars in it. I use what's called a hot fill process. So there's no additional nutrient degradation. If you buy soup in one of the plastic containers, it's probably been through an HPP process, which causes a little bit of nutrient degradation. That's probably one of the best though. Or if you get a Tetra Pak, that also goes through a heat process that adds some nutrient degradation. So I don't do any of that. We cook the soup, we cool it down, we put it in glass jars, and we freeze it. So the product is sold frozen. After it's thawed, it has about a 3-week shelf life. Technically, it's 4 to 5 weeks. The lab test came back with no bacteria, but I put a 3-week date on there just to feel safe. And I use glass, not plastic. The soups are intentionally low sodium, and they're pretty filling because we pack so much nutrition in there. Most of them are very thick, and 1 cup will generally be a meal for most people. And if you're not feeling well, it could be 2 meals for you. My goals are, my current sales are 300 to 500 a month on a good month. I target small health food stores, small specialty markets, online through my website. And then other marketing focus will be to providers, to nutritionists, to spas, places like that. My goal for the next 4 months will be to sell at least 100 units per month through my current channels and going to farmers markets at the Beaumont Health System, and Henry Ford has a farmers market as well. And hopefully that will sustain me while I'm researching where to get more exposure throughout the fall. My obstacle is my price. The soup is $10 a jar and it's an 8-ounce jar. The sipping broth is $8. Now, on the other side of that coin, I consider my competition to be flower shops. So if you have a friend who's sick and you want to send them a gift, what do you send them? You send them flowers. How much does a bouquet of flowers cost? $50 to $60. You send them 4 jars of soup, it's a bargain. And you're giving them nutrition. You're giving them something that's good for them, something they don't have to work at eating. And my community ask is, how do I find the right customer base who cares about this type of product? What are some suggestions for markets where I can self-distribute, because the markup on the going through a distributor is pretty high and I'm a small batch processor at the moment? And how do I get people to repeat buy an expensive product that supports a long-term healthy lifestyle? That's it.
So if you want to mute yours for just a minute. All right, that was really good. I was keeping track of your time because I didn't mention that we are a 6-minute presentation especially when we have 2 presenters, and you're right at 6 minutes. So I don't know if you were practicing your timing, but even with your like natural storytelling about different steps, you stayed within that couple of minutes. And we do that just to maintain the amount of time we have for questions to be asked. So you can either ask questions or offer suggestions through the chat or by raising your hand here in the Zoom, or you can, if you're in the room with us, you can just ask out loud. So we will like practice the muting and unmuting when we're doing those kind of question asking here. Doug, I see you're unmuted. What would you like to say?
I thought that was great. Cynthia, your packaging is lovely, just lovely. I don't know who did it, but it really is so nice. It feels natural. I think it's a good idea, given where you're coming from, where the product's coming from. The notion of having a lot of space dedicated to nutrition is absolutely the right call. It just says fresh and wholesome and clean and all those things. The using glass, that's exactly the right call, because of, well, it supports the cost, but it also supports all the other elements of the brand that you're establishing. And frankly, the price point, I love the way you've come at it, saying that, compare it to like a bouquet of flowers, because the way I thought you were coming at it initially was, it's for if people are sick and they can't digest, it's hard for them to digest or chew or whatever, and they need a nutrition dense something to eat when they're just not feeling well. That's, whether it's someone's having a treatment or they're sick with, whatever virus or something, it's a great caregiving thing. I thought that was a really terrific insight. And then when you got to the, I'm not really asking questions. I'm saying a lot of bravos. When you got to where you're distributing it, doing it, when I saw Beaumont, I was thinking through healthcare providers, like through their gift shop. Because when you go to visit people, or maybe that's the wrong place, but I was thinking along those lines of what do you get for people when they're not feeling well or when they're recuperating, that would be a place to do it. I wondered about farmers markets just because of it has to be frozen. And that might be problematic in terms of, you have to take a freezer with you, maybe take a cooler, I guess, but then that means it's going to some degree, it's going to defrost. But I thought that the positioning is really good. That being that tight on what you represent and for whom is a strength at this point, and it justifies the price point. And the only question I had was, you're wondering if you're selling, you're on a good month, it's $300 to $500 in sales. Who are you selling to now? Who's buying them? Have you done any, polling, or have you, gone back over who's buying to determine who they are, what they're buying for, and any of that you could use to model the rest of your audience?
I get good sales. I don't necessarily right now get a lot of repeat sales. So I was in Woodward Corner Market, and when I'm there and I was in Zerbo's over in Commerce, which is a beautiful store, but they don't have a lot of traffic. So when I'm there doing tastings, people buy, but then when I'm not there, if they haven't tasted it, they don't go back and buy it because of the price point. So even though I'm comfortable with that price point, and people in health food stores know what they're getting with the product just by looking at it, so that's generally not an issue, but I'm not seeing the return sales. So I do go out and do a lot of tasting. So I did do 2 spots on Fox 2 Detroit, and that generated only about 16 sales out of the first. And then my chef did the second one, and she was really good. And both of those videos are on my website and on my YouTube channel under the about tab, and then there's a media tab. And she generated a whole bunch of, a lot more sales, probably around 25, which is not huge, but it's good. But I had like 600 and 700 hits on the website. It just didn't result in that many sales for what I had to pay the publicist to get.
Right. Right.
So there are some press releases that she has sent out, but I haven't seen any results from any of that yet.
Okay.
So, and then the other thing I wanted to say about using amber glass, I use amber glass for two reasons. One is it has a subtle medicinal feel.
Yeah, it does.
And second is some of the soups don't look particularly good. My chef makes them look as good as they can, but mushroom soup, when you blend mushrooms, it doesn't always look so good. So it keeps it attractive.
I definitely got that the medicinal. That's why I said it. I just thought that the packaging was really well done. Who did that for you?
I had a design in mind, and I gave it to my label designer, Lindsay Naylor. She used to work in this area, but she's up in the UP, and she works on her own now.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing she did for me is my husband loved Latin, so I have the Latin names. You'll see a little tiny script by the pictures of the vegetables, and the primary ingredient has the Latin name of the vegetable on it. So
and that also suggests medicine as well, because there's so many Latin names in medicine. Very cool. So yeah, the key is, I think you probably have identified the issue is for repeat is cost. And I wonder, so I'm sorry, because this is my, food marketing is my area. So this is the last thing. Rather than think of it, the lack of repeat as a bug, maybe it's not a bug, but it's a feature. And by that, I mean, when you talked about getting this for people who are not feeling well, like a get well sort of thing, flowers are very expensive too. And so you don't buy them regularly, especially if you're using it for for a purpose of a get well thing or a special occasion. Yours is even more specialized than, it's really feel better. But what if that's your thing? And I don't know, what if, for example, what if you sold it, and I'm kind of spitballing, but sold it when people are, looking for flowers, if that's the search that people are doing, if you do some SEO, if people are doing a search for get well gifts, or flowers or something, it's a special occasion, but it's a very specific special occasion. And then you don't have to worry so much about the repeat part right now.
That's a great suggestion. And my web guy is working on my site, a couple things this week, so I'll mention that to him. He's working on building some SEO. And I actually found them. It was Glassbird, it's Winhouse software. They are fantastic. They are fantastic.
Right.
Glassbird is what that's what they came in under, but it's actually Winhouse software. They're in Toledo, I think.
Didn't we have Glassbird present for us?
Yeah.
At the Loving Touch? Yeah. And so they're really helping.
That's how I found them. Yeah.
That's
They're fantastic.
All right, Munir, go ahead and ask your question.
So, thank you. It was a great talk. And I'm a scientist. I worked in taste and flavor, and I also was working at an oncology research. So, this hits close to home. So
fantastic.
One thing that I noticed is what you're doing is not only for sick people, it's also, it prevents it. So a lot of times, unfortunately, when cancer is here and it's metastasized, there are very few things to do. Unfortunately, that's where we're at now. But where I see a great use for your product is as a prevention. So my idea is that you can market it as, like a once a week or twice a week healthy food that you give to your family, to prevent cancer and inflammation. There's, it's hard to, get cancer without inflammation. it it has an inflammatory process. But anyway, but it's not only for cancer. It could be for many things. That's one thing. And one target for that is that there are two things. Some companies offer, like end of the year basket, and you can contact people. You can contact those companies with the mindset of, we want to keep our employees healthy. We want to spread health, and contact those companies and see how you can work with them. The other things are, companies where they have free snacks and free food and, workspaces and things like that. You can, they'll probably not buy it because it's on the expensive end, but could they like share the cost with their employees? It could be, it could be that you can, talk to people who manage those spaces. Like, look, if you pay $4 for it and your employee pays $3 for it, that's $7. And because you're buying bulk, I'm going to give you a discount. I don't know, I'm just saying things. Could be a good idea, could not be a good idea. But this is how I really like. This is what your talk inspired me. Like, this is an opening.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I may go to high-end car dealers as well. My sister sells Land Rovers and Jaguars in California, and they always send out this gift box with, a bottle of wine and glasses with their name on it. And that would be a perfect gift for them as well. Or the RV places when somebody buys a.
It would be much cheaper than a bottle of wine, I guess. So yeah, I think, these could be like a yearly repeat clients, right? So it's not that they're not coming to buy from you every month, but every year if the employees liked it, and then make sure the employees who like it can order online or something if they're in California, and you ship it to them, things like that. But this is like an opening for a market. I'm not sure it's going to work, but I think it's worth a shot.
Perfect, thank you. I should send you some samples. You would enjoy these flavors, especially the mushroom.
Yeah, well, my wife loves mushroom soup, and she doesn't care about how it looks like. She just eats it.
Yeah, and this is not cream of mushroom. This is very intense mushroom, and we use maitake mushrooms. Maitake and shiitake in a dry blend.
Cynthia, if I may make a comment, we had somebody here before, wasn't it bundled? That what they do is they do specialty corporate gift kits and things like that.
That's right.
They're kind of the upscale, looking for unique items. It might be a fair marriage. It's local here in Detroit, and female. I think they just got the outfit in Birmingham. I'm thinking of Citywide.
Do you remember the name? Because I applied to somebody and never got a response and follow up.
Called Bundled, BUNDLED.
Bundle, okay.
Bundled with ED.
Okay.
Yep. Cynthia, I can send you contact information.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, very sharp young ladies, and they had quite a backbone in architecture for their software that caught Citywide's eyes, and I don't know whatever occurred with that, but I did talk to them several times. Very sharp young ladies, and they might have a moving train you can get a ticket on.
Perfect. Thank you.
That was my makeup for coming in late.
You are definitely forgiven, Cliff. Hey, as long as nobody else is saying. Oh no, I'm sorry, Mike. You have your hand raised. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So first of all, Cliff, I love your sayings, and having a ticket to get on that train. That's perfect. Monir, with what you were saying in regards to, instead of focusing on promoting this product to people who already are diagnosed with cancer, flipping it around with people who want to stay healthy. I like the idea, Cliff, of the gift baskets and Monir, and taking that idea to bundled. Have you also thought, Cynthia, maybe about subscriptions or packaging in a larger size, and then giving them, I'm picturing something like a soup for lunch kit. So you get the larger single pack a single jar that's frozen, and then they can thaw it out and put it in 5 single servings for their week, something like that to address your cost issue on the back end.
I have a model for subscription basis. I've thought that through and come up with a plan, but I don't have enough traffic yet or customers yet for that to be viable. I also think I need more than 4 to do that. So I'll probably try to kick that off when I have 8, or when I have the 8 products, so people will have more of a choice. Because like in tastings, there are some people out there who don't like mushroom. That happens to be my biggest seller. Only, if I'm trying to sell 4 at a time on a subscription, maybe 4 a week or something like that, that's just not enough. I don't feel that's enough flavor options at this point, but great thought. Thank you. And yeah, I am trying to market to anyone who wants to live a healthy lifestyle, who wants to eat super clean, not just people who are sick. It's just, that's what motivated me to begin with.
So the name itself of the company, Recipes for a Reason, I was expecting something along the lines of recipes. So that could be a separate, set of recipes that's available for purchase, or in addition to what you're selling, so that they can make some of these things on their own. And then I've seen a lot of soup kits that are all the dried items, and you just add the hot water. I don't know if you've looked at that, possibly to address the cost as well.
I have no issues publishing my recipes, and it's kind of like watching YouTube changing the oil in your car. Not many people are actually going to do it themselves, so I don't have a problem with publishing my exact recipes, because not really that many people, when they see what's involved with it or how many ingredients there are just in making the stock, not many people are going to do it, but that's okay. And you can't patent a recipe anyway. So there's no reason why people can't taste it and reverse engineer it. I'm sorry, what was the second? The second part was, no, because that undoes everything I'm trying to do with a fresh product, kills the nutrients. Thanks for the suggestion.
All right, and so I have a question just about the ounce size. So you're selling, say, I'm going to say as a consumer, I would see a $10 1 cup 8 ounce. Would it be that much more expensive to make it a 10 ounce? So you would have like a $9.99 for 10 ounces. Does it really adjust everything? I know with your size of jar and everything.
It's not, that's the size jar. So it's pretty filling. And I discussed that with my food scientist, and she kept insisting, no, I like a cup of soup. So food business is not my background. So I know what I don't know. So I'm going to rely on her expertise for right now. If I get it, if I were to get enough requests, because, if you're giving this to someone who's sick and you're a caregiver, you need to be healthy too. So buying it in a bigger quantity makes a lot of sense. But until I get enough requests for that, I'm not at that point.
So another thing I think that you already are doing that is really great is going to the farmers markets. So I go to farmers markets in different places in the country, and I quite often see people, even at Eastern Market last weekend, with a big freezer behind them inside of their vehicle, and their samples are out on the counter, and they have sign up for orders or take an order right now. So I think hitting the farmers markets and getting comfortable with that, maybe even being able to hire in somebody that can manage just that piece, or a volunteer. Maybe you have somebody who's really gets your mission and is eating clean and wants to make sure this product gets out there. You might be able to get volunteers to help run your shop at a farmer's market if you want to be maybe in 2 places at once. And you'd get there at 7 in the morning and be done by 1 in the afternoon. And maybe you have volunteers that shift out. I think that's a really great place to get the word out about your product.
Thank you. I like that idea. I'm going to start with the Henry Ford and the Beaumonts, because it's the healthcare setting, and hopefully that can grow some business. On the other side, doing it like in Milford, which is pretty decent size. The health department is kind of difficult to work with in terms of giving out samples. You have to have a wash station, and you have to have all these other things. So it's easier if I do it through one of the retailers, and then try just after it's exposed, selling it there. So sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, depending on the farmer's market. But yeah, I that's the right kind of shopper for that kind of product. But they're also there hoping that they're going to get a bargain because they're buying direct, and price is going to be an issue there as well. And it, again, depending on the market. Good thoughts. Thank you.
But Cynthia, question, you could, because you're not going through a retailer, is the price different at a farmer's market than it would be through, a fresh market or something?
Absolutely. The retail markup is 30%.
Okay.
So it would be, no markup. No, I'm not
Right.
giving away that 30% if I'm selling at a farmer's market.
Mhm.
That might help recover some of my startup costs.
So what, are you saying that the price is the same in both places, but you make less at retail? Or that the price is higher at retail? So you make the same?
Price is higher at retail. I would probably mark it down to like $8. And when you go on my website, first time buyers get a 20% discount. And then if I have if I get good repeat customers, I'll probably give them a coupon for a lower cost all the time.
So people at the farmer's market would be getting a little bit of a break from from getting it at retail.
Yes.
Okay. Just one other, as long as I'm off mute, again, piggybacking on what Munir said, these days, as employers are wanting to take really, 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 really good care of their employees because people are willing and able to leave. When an employee is out sick, and they are, there are, people don't go into work because they're sick. It would, if they're out for 2-3 days, maybe an employer wants to send them something feel better thing. Again, an opportunity to sell something through an employer who will have deeper pockets, not worry so much about the individual price of something, and show extra special care to their employees that isn't common. So
I love that idea. Thank you.
I see a lot of nodding with that around the room here. And what I would say is the target at the companies is your HR department.
that's correct.
HR. And you're just going to have to, pick some of your companies that supply, say Beaumont or Henry Ford, and say, I have an opportunity to have you give a very specialized gift to your sick employee. We have 4 choices. Maybe if you can find out what they would prefer, we would charge you blah, blah, blah. But I think that's a really unique and interesting twist on how she can get that out to that niche market.
And if you take that, that's kind of a way of thinking about it, that you started with, get well gifts and that sort of thing. There's a whole place you can go that's just one top of my head, but there's going to be a bunch of those. If you think about it in that way, it could be a really nice area to mine.
I love that idea. I probably won't start with the healthcare though. Healthcare is my background, healthcare consulting and project management on the business side, not the clinical side. So I think I'll start with other corporations first. And that's all I'll say about that.
Yeah.
So with lots of younger employees, who have lots of perks.
And who need to start eating healthy.
That's right.
So another curiosity question, Cynthia. In Ferndale, Garden Fresh has been operating for the last 20 years there, and they had a similar issue, like where you have a very, very fresh product that needs to be frozen and delivered that way. Maybe there might be a connection where you can meet with someone at Garden Fresh, not about like selling your product, but just to get information as a new developer of a product that needs to like get the toehold in the market for a product that really needs to be maintained in order to hold its integrity. So I'm wondering if I might have a connection. But Munir, looks like you have another question.
Yes. So maybe I'm sorry if I missed it, but do your 4 recipes have a reason in them? It's like, uh, not just the recipe, but what it does, right? So I'm guessing that the 4 recipes will have different things, it's like antioxidants versus. So like, in addition to the recipe, could you add in the brand what it does, like cleansing, antioxidant, something like that? So is it on your
It's on the
packaging?
website. It's on the website. When you go to the shop page and you click on the flavor, there are articles behind the picture that tell you why the main ingredient is good for you. There's an article about,
But
why
is it on
mushrooms.
the jar?
It's not on the jar. No. I don't have enough space.
Okay.
I don't have any more space. The blank space is the
Yeah,
barcode.
they're. I saw that. Yeah, they're.
It's a small jar.
Okay.
But I understand where Munir's going. If you're getting a gift for someone who needs, their issue is antioxidant or, what cleansing, whatever the issue is, that if you give them a reason to buy that versus this or to choose, that's a interesting point. Whether it's on the package or on, I don't know, the lid, wherever, being able to help people choose is a good strategy.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that with the closest I come to that is the 4 reasons: the nutrition, the taste, the convenience, and the health. And the FDA labeling guidelines, you have to have certain ingredients in your product to be able to use the word health on your label and not get your hand slapped or worse. So I meet those qualifications. Most people probably don't know that, though, that you can't just put the word health or healthy on a product without it meeting certain conditions.
On that same line of thinking, can you put a sticker on the top, like a bar sticker that's just as beautiful as your label that says anti-inflammatory or whatever your scientific-ish, right, as I think what Munir is getting at, like a 1-word. So when you pull that soup out of your cabinet, you can see that.
I will think about
Added
that.
expense,
That's a
but
good thought.
something to have the buyer not deter from your beautiful label, but also know I'm getting this one in particular for you, my sick friend, or for myself, because I have issues with blank, and just keep it as simple as possible.
I will think about that, and I'll talk with my food scientists and my nutritionists.
You might also go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Cliff. No, go ahead, Cliff.
I was just going to add to what Melissa said very quickly, that maybe a 3D barcode that actually gave it to them on their phone rather than, putting more stuff on the label. The sticker could go on top of the jar and they could scan it with their code if they wanted the health information. They're only going to read it once. It's not something they're going to read over and over again. What's this for? But one thing did pop into my mind when somebody else said something was you can either get your employer to tell you to eat healthy, or you can get your grandparents to tell you to eat healthy. If you got kids in college, this might go along with the bundled piece to send them things that keep them off the Big Macs. And be honest with you, your cost is not horrendous when compared to the fast food anymore. So, you're right in line with that. But, I just put 3 grandkids in college, and, now, you start thinking about the grandparents have the money to buy specialty items. Well, they do or they don't. But if they do, they're going to buy it for the kids. I don't have anything else to spend my money on. So what little there is, I send it to them. And if they're in college, then you send along something that's easy to make, easy to get to, very healthy for you, keep your brain running faster. Maybe, throw in a can of Adderall in there somewhere, and, they're all set. So you got physical body and brain food at the same time.
That's a great idea. I'm trying to help promote the idea of, you wake up in the morning, and at least in this country, we're fortunate enough to be able to say, what do I want for breakfast? Instead of saying, what does my body need to eat today? So that I think I will think about some kind of messaging, even if it's even if it's putting a card inside the packaging, inside the box, if I'm sending out an order, that talks about those kinds of things.
Mhm.
Great idea. Thank you.
Just building on the idea of college students, one thing that happens when kids go back to school is everybody gets sick. And that's when the parents send care packages to their kids. Oh, you're away from home for the first time, honey. I'm so sorry you're not feeling well. Again, another way to show special care. And to Cliff's point, that's, they're already spending umpteen thousands of dollars to do that, to send their kids to school. They want them to do well and to feel good, and they're sad that they're away from home. So
Right, perfect.
again,
Thank you.
you go down that route, there's tons of things to do. One other thing, as long as I'm hogging, Melissa's point about mentioning like what it's for, or that was building on Manir's point. You could also do it with a colored lid. The lids are all the same color. If you were to
Good idea.
do something with color, then probably lids don't cost any more. And you don't have to pay for a sticker. And what Cliff was mentioning as far as a 3D, that's like it's a QR code you could use, and you can create those yourself. And the QR code, people will scan that. It can send them to your website, which has whatever message you want on it. That doesn't cost you anything. That's just black on ice. It's just like a UPC. It's just black on white or black on tan, and it'll
You can also
send
put your
wherever you
logo in the
want
middle
to.
of it.
Right. You
I
can
wanted to say
yourself
something about
for
the
free.
college students as well. So, you would think the typical college students are going to be like, what, a jar of soup? But I have 2 daughters that are vegan, that are very healthy eaters, that make all their own food, don't eat anything from the school. So I'm excited to order some stuff off your website to send to them. One of them they're both still in college. So I'm excited to send them this product and see what they think. So, kids are becoming much more conscientious, and you'd find hopefully that same niche audience that you might find at the farmers markets or the other specific boutique grocery stores that you have your item in now. So kind of an interesting thing to bring up to Glassbird or whatever the company is called now.
Yeah, I'll mention that to my web guy to create a QR code for the next time I do a label run. And it is amazing when I'm out doing tastings. I remember this little girl, she was 6 years old. I said, would you like to try some soup? And she said, I'm a vegan. You're in luck. And I mean, it's just a good experience. And I have had wonderful reception to the product. Again, it's the price point for some people.
All right. So I'm curious, Dr. Papert, I know that Cynthia is on a small scale compared to what you tend to deal with, but do you have any suggestions for her? I think he's probably still with us. There you go.
He is.
Yeah, not at this point. Once again, I don't think price is even an issue at this point, because once again, you start looking at, I guess there's an old saying about something about an ounce of prevention supersedes, and I don't know what the full saying is, but this is 8 ounces of prevention. So, that has a lot of value to it. So I just don't think that price really is an issue here when you're trying to look at your health. You can pay your price now or pay 10 times or 100 times that later on. So what would you rather do? So there's all kinds of ways that you can market this to get into the subconscious mind, to make the conscious mind aware of what's going on. So I like, once again, I wouldn't even worry about price. I like the idea when you mentioned something about the flowers and made that comparison. Once again, you really are looking to really be caring to people out there. So, and marketing this thing, you're doing the right thing, getting in front of the right kinds of people. And so there's not much I can really say. I think that you really thought this thing out really, really well. I really am impressed. with what you've done and what you're doing at this point. And I'm just going to say, just continue to do what you're doing, and then you'll find your niche. You'll find a group of people, and I think that you'll find a winning formula that's really going to make this product really excel. So congratulations on what you're doing, and just keep doing it.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. I like that as a sticker on the top, because doing like different colored lids or putting a sticker with whether it's anti-inflammatory or antioxidant, we try to do all of that. But I like that sticker of an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So that's what I think the saying is. I like that. Thank you so much. And I appreciate your thoughts.
Yeah, that was great, Dr. Kevin. Hey, while we have us all in the room, Cynthia, if you can take off screen share for a minute, we like to do a screenshot. So Munir, the rest of us in the room know this, but if you don't mind, if you have a cup of coffee, you want to hold it up, because we do a screenshot of all of us in this meeting, and then we post that for Cynthia and our YouTube channel. So if you have a cup of coffee, I don't have one. That's fine. You can be like me. And Doug, you ready to take a screenshot?
I am ready.
Whenever you are.
1 and a 2, Anna, you know what to do.
Thank you. I feel like this has been really a great presentation today. I'm glad we only had one presenter, to be honest, because there was a lot to talk about with your product, Cynthia. Is there anyone else that has anything else they'd like to share before we wrap it up for today? Right, that's good. Cynthia, do you feel like this was worth your time today and doing that presentation and answering the questions and getting some new ideas?
Very much. I appreciate everybody's comments and thoughts and ideas. Great. I took a lot of notes. Thank you so much.
Well, the video will be available once we get it downloaded, and we'll post it on YouTube. If you didn't take perfect notes, Cynthia, it'll all be there in stereophonic sound. You did a great job. This was really, to Dr. Kevin's point, really very well thought out and well done. Congratulations.
Yes, you've come a really long way since 2020, winter of 2020. You stuck with it. You're still working on your project, and no matter whether your sales are low or not now, you do have something that seems to be very valuable. And I agree with what Dr. Kevin was saying. Just know the right response to someone saying, "Oh, that's too expensive," then you'll know that that's not the product for them. There is somebody that will say, "Oh, I'm going to only buy the expensive product. That's the value that I hold in the food I put inside of me." So I would pay attention to it, but not too much attention to it.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, thanks everyone for coming today. Thanks for joining us. Cliff, by the way, Cliff has just joined our planning committee. So thank you, Cliff, for accepting the role of jumping in to support us as a business coach for upcoming presenters. For Munir, if you have your own business line or product that you wanted to present with our group, we do offer free business coaching, an hour or so, to help you with your slide deck for our presentation or for any other ones you might do in the future. So we hope to see you next month. We hope to see all of you.
Please, Munir, when you're ready, please sign up to present or just come to meetings, and you had great comments. It was really valuable. I appreciated your input, and this is Melissa shot me a note while you were commenting, saying it's kind of like kismet. Your area of expertise was perfectly in line with what Cynthia was presenting about. It was really terrific. That's what happens at 1 million cups sometimes.
A little bit of synchronicity happening. All right, well, let's all go to Cynthia's website and help her out today and order at least a cup of soup. And thank you guys all for coming.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Good day. Bye.